There are a lot of personal experiences that tie into this for me.
You may have seen her on the front lines of protests in downtown Lexington this summer. Tonight, she tells her story on what pushed her to push for change.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Sometimes confrontational and controversial, but Lexington activist Sarah Williams says what you think you know about her is not the whole story. Williams has been the face of protests this summer in Lexington. We wanted to know what drives her and her push for change. New at 6, WKYT's Chelsea Jones looks into the mind of an activist.
You may have seen her in the streets of downtown Lexington. She and protesters marched for 44 days straight.
We have the street for 8 minutes, y'all. For the 8 times that we on the train.
We wanted to know what drives a person to do this day after day.
Sarah Williams, S-A-R-A-H.
So we spent time with her one-on-one.
The fact that I am biracial, right? My mother is white, my father is black.
And to find out who she is.
You realize that the way in which you are treated in the world, the way in which you are viewed in the world is different than that of your white mother.
And the people are here to tell you what's good.
This is Sarah Williams. Growing up in Fayette County, attending Lexington Public Schools is where Sarah first experienced racism.
You do have teachers that will treat you differently, grade you differently.
But it wasn't until she graduated from Western Kentucky University with a bachelor's in nursing and 2 master's degrees that she started to make sense of it.
You know, also my career as a nurse. Starting out at UK and going to Good Sam.
Treating some patients she'll never forget.
You're called the N-word. Or I don't want this N-word taking care of me.
Sarah was suspended from her job after a disagreement with a white coworker. Sarah pushed for them to do an investigation, but says that did not occur.
Once I found out that UK was an open records institution and all I needed was my driver's license or ID to go to the Office of Legal Affairs and obtain all the permanent files of all of these white nurses that I know had been treated differently than me, they then offered me my job back.
But her principals wouldn't allow her to do that. Sarah made a fresh start as a travel nurse. While working in St. Louis, she met the love of her life, a corrections officer.
And the one thing that connected us to even have further conversation is both of our ability and desire to treat this person like a human being.
But their union ended in tragedy in 2011 when someone found Javalance Lewis dead from a gunshot wound. Police ruled it a suicide.
The funeral director said, I've done, hundreds of autopsies in the past year, and I know for the way that wound is on his head, that was not self-inflicted.
Sarah felt authorities were too quick to dismiss the possibility of a crime. She fought for more answers, but...
And I reached a point where I had to begin to find peace outside of that.
After moving back home, another incident moved her to tears. Caught on camera, former Lexington police chaplain Donovan Stewart punching a restrained teenager.
If any one of us had been caught doing that to our children in public, even if they had inflicted physical harm on us, CPS, Child Protective Services, would come take our kids and be completing an investigation.
Sarah, a mother of 6, says she could relate to his family.
When I was talking to the mother and she started crying and she said, what people did not know is that he is autistic, it lit a fire in me.
In the months to follow, she went on a crusade for police accountability. And in the spring, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor's deaths sparked an even bigger movement, a brighter spotlight on Sarah's activism, work that's been the source of some controversy and conflict with police.
Why have you been silent, and why have you not done anything about former chaplain Donovan Stewart?
And she was even arrested for inciting a riot.
All night, WKYT, you are not covering us tonight.
Escort. Goodbye.
And even how we covered what happened.
They also advise, however, that tensions are rising to the point that some protesters are engaging in illegal and dangerous actions. What are those illegal and dangerous actions?
She says video clips, whether on the news or social media, don't always tell the entire story.
Why are you trying to
a lot of personal experiences that tie into this for me, right? Can I say that at every moment I'm just going to remain the most composed, politically correct kind of person? Obviously not.
But Sarah is an activist and says she'll keep fighting for the things she hopes to see.
LPD accountability. We want a complete change in the way the Lexington Police Department currently operates.
In Lexington, Chelsea Jones, WKYT.
Williams and her sister April Taylor have both been named in a lawsuit by former Lexington police officer Donovan Stewart, accusing them of defamation. Williams has said she stands by her comments. Stewart's attorney said Fayette County prosecutors cleared him of wrongdoing from the Fayette Mall incident. Stewart is being sued by the teen's family, claiming he used excessive force.
A month after closing.